Hello, good day. This is Marek Paniczkowski and Sebastian Kapczak. We are the Knox partner team from Europe, and we are happy to share with you the Knox Validated Program overview on this today's webinar. So let's move on then. So Knox Validated Program is a part of a bigger initiative, which is Knox Partner Program. Knox Partner Program is like a next generation of Samsung Enterprise Alliance Program, which you all already know probably. Why we have changed Samsung Enterprise Alliance Program? Because we wanted to make it more business appropriate and more of a to be more possible to give you the possibilities to scale up with us together. So Knox Partner Program shortly, it's about searching the best partnerships, building up together additional values in the solutions, creating a go-to-market that will fit both sides, and grow together with our sales channels on the market. Within this initiative, we have Knox Validated Program, which is a dedicated piece of KPP, Knox Partner Program. It's dedicated to UEM partners because we treat this group of vendors as a priority because of the let's say a kind of a standard given to the corporations that everybody and the customers that everybody has an MDM platform, including Samsung as well. So a Knox Validated Program is designed to validate the best solutions to check the ways and quality of implementation that they have on Samsung Ps. We want to add additional tag, additional logo to those who meet our requirements to set a new market standard of cooperation between Samsung and UEM partners. Well, the key rules of the program, basically, you have to be already in the KPP, Knox Partner Program, to apply to be validated. So it's required to be a silver tier or above, which is in most cases quite easy. You're gonna get silver tier when you go above 1,000 active licenses launched together with Samsung. To qualify for Knox Validated, you also have to be meeting all of the requirements, and this will be let's say, dependent on the situation because you have to meet the silver tier, or you can, in some rare cases, be recommended by our local sales office, and then we may actually do an exception for that. That is in a case where you are a long-term partner and already working with us, and let's say we have case studies with customers. So what are we certifying? First of all, KSP, which is some Knox features from KSP, so the way you're going to apply those. More details will be shared by Sebastian in a minute. And the other part is integration with KME, our bulk mobile enrollment system. So the last thing that is very important to mention is that this validation is valid for 1 year, and then we will have to make another validation just to keep in touch, just to keep it real for the customers, because we wanted this validation to mean something, have some value for the customer. And the benefits you're gonna get. So first of all, as I mentioned before, you're gonna get the logo, which is obvious for these kind of cases. Of course, official certification. I need to remind you that this all lasts 1 year. So it's going to be probably something more difficult to get next year because this is the first year Knox Validated. And we would like to onboard as many partners as possible, of course. But next year, I think that we're going to raise our expectations. So it's easier to get in today and just upgrade next year than to try to get it all next year. Of course, this kind of benefit that will provide you is quite common in all of those programs. We are also providing you some access to our Knox.com web pages, so your logo, maybe some case studies with your customers may be visible them there. So basically, this is something that we can set later on. But for sure, if you're gonna be certified, if you're gonna get validated officially in full, that means you're gonna meet both requirements, KSP and KME validation. Then your logo will appear on Knox.com, and maybe we can add some interesting stories of your case studies there as well. So what is the next most important value? It's basically a part of KPP. So once you get validated, that means, and that will be the sign for all of our teams, all of our sales teams, and all of our customers that we are recommending you as an MDM to work together with Knox environment and with Samsung hardware. So I think this is the one of the most important things, but we keep it all as a package, as a benefit package for you all, Okay, so I think it's Sebastian, your part here. I give the voice to Sebastian, our lead for validation program.
Thank you, Marek. Thanks a lot. Okay, so now in the next part, let's maybe talk more about the technical requirements for the MDMs in order to meet the Knox Validated Program certifications. So Mark, if you could change the slide to the next one. Yeah, great. So I would like to start with the links. I don't like to put them at the end because no one will access them. And I think this is the essential content of today's webinar. Because those links are like up to date, will give you up to date guidance and requirements. So we will always have the correct information. So here you will learn under the links what are the current requirements, and I will discuss those in a minute. But also what we are offering through the KVP sites are the integration guides and guidelines in order to help our partners to smoothly integrate with our services. So the process would be easier. Mark, if you could change the slide to the next one, let's talk about the actual requirements for the KVP. So the first group of the requirements is about support of the next Knox service plugin. And because this is pretty new feature, for those of you who are not aware of what Knox Service Plugin is, this is simply a new way of providing the unique features of Samsung Knox on top of the Android Samsung devices. So in order to use some unique feature, let's say configure a firewall, which is normally not available on standard Android, what you can do is you can push additional Samsung Knox Service plugin application that's being pushed through your MDM system and apply a specific configuration to that application. This is a very unique offering because it doesn't require your MDM agent to be developed, with our SDKs, which is time consuming, takes lots of time. It's very fast forward to get those to your users. However, in order to implement Knox Service plugin, there are a couple of things that your MDM still should implement as well. And it's what it is the OEM config framework that comes from the Android ecosystem nowadays. This is also a pretty new framework, but it has to be integrated by your OEM in order to use KSP. But once you integrate it, it's simple. Then you're good to go, and your EMM is ready for any new features that that will come with the Knox. On this table, there are a couple of integration points that we are checking. I don't want to go into the details of each of them, but the most important thing to understand is that some of those features are required and some are recommended. And in order to apply and get the KVP certification, we are strongly looking at those required features like supporting the OEM config or having a functionality of getting the feedback loop. So for the administrators to get the information back from this Knox service plugin to see whether the configuration that they checked and set to the devices were actually successfully applied. Under the link here, you will also have detailed information on each of the requirements. So I think this is pretty good overall description of the KSP. If you could change the slide, Marek. And the next group of requirements that we are looking at is the support for the Knox mobile enrollment. And this service is pretty pretty solid because it was actually one of the first enrollment service for the Android. So it's designed for EMMs in order to give them the ability of running the agent as the first application after the phone was booted up for the first time or after a factory reset. So MDM can have a peace of mind and more awareness of the environment of the device because their agent can be the first application that's being installed on the device and they can take control immediately after that fact of overall device. So we find that not mobile enrollment is an essential part for every EMM solution. That's why this is also required here to be supported by the EMMs. Marek, can you change the slide to the next one? And the last thing is the last but not least is the UX and UIs standards and also the documentation from the EML side. So what we would like to achieve here is to have a very similar look and feel for the end users, mainly for the administrators, because across many vendors of EMMs, the consoles can vary. That there are different philosophies behind the configuration and so on. However, what we would like to achieve here is to have this configuration of the Samsung policies to be very similar. And both screens would like them to follow some rules. This is a simple requirement as it's mostly related to the KSP. And when you integrate the OEM config, you also have a standardized UI. However, this UI can be modified. And what we would not like to see is that this modification would be, too much, and it would exceed what's very clear and what would allow the users to have a very easy interface. So we are just taking a look at how you are presenting those configurations to the end users in order to have a very common overview of those policies in the console. Right. So let's maybe talk more about the process. Marek, if you could change the slide to the next one. So how this all works and how the certification is actually being happened. So the process is very straightforward. So first of all, we have the KPP portal, which Marek already mentioned. This is the heart of the KPP as well. And on the KPP portal, there are guides and links, the requirements that I already shared with you. So you can easily access it to see what are the current requirements of your solution. And once you think you're ready with your solution, you can apply for the KPP just by simply clicking a button to apply for KPP. And this will open a simple form, which you will need to also fill. And one of the important information that you need to put there is your access to your testing environment. We need your credentials. Because in the next step, we have a dedicated team in Samsung that will then validate your solution using these credentials. And here, the consideration for you is to ensure that you're giving us a stable working environment and it would be, if it would be production version, it would be the best, because we are not like providing Q&A support, sanity check in order to validate if all those requirements that we talked about are supported by your solution. And hopefully, if the solution is working, then we are recommending it, and we are providing a recommendation report based on which your solution is listed as Knox validated, and you can, have access to all the benefits that Marek already explained. I think this is pretty straightforward process, and once again, I would like to strongly emphasize that the environment that we are checking should be production ready, because we are seeing cases where when it's unstable, there are some strange issues, and we are always trying to have the perspective of the end users and how they would feel with it. So if there's lack of documentation, if those issues are happening, we will not invest too much time into fixing them, and we will mark those test cases as failed. So please ensure you are providing us a working environment. And yeah, I think this is all from my side. So Marek, I think we can conclude the session.
Okay, thank you, Sebastian. I think it went well. So basically, I would like to encourage everyone to join Knox Partner Program and get the Knox validation in place. We have already officially launched the program, and you can see our top partners being already validated. But it doesn't mean if you're a regional MDM provider that you're not allowed to join. Of course, we encourage you to join, and to show you that everything is possible. We also have our regional partnership already validated, and in the first batch of partners that were announced at the launch. So you don't have to be a big player. It's good that you're a Samsung player and you can join us team up with us on the Samsung Knox Partner Program and the validation process. Thank you very much for joining us today, and I wish you all a safe and pleasant day. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Thanks, take care.